Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the Joshua Bell box. There it is. But first, I have to tantalize you. Wait a minute. I'm tantalizing. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, God. There it is. The Michael Tilson Thomas box. I'm working on it. There's a lot of stuff I need to check out. I haven't heard it in a long time, but we're going to get there. Don't worry. And shortly, too, I promise, before the holiday season is over. Anyway, Joshua Bell. This is a little easier. It's only 14 CDs. The complete Decca recordings. Pity the violinists. I just have such sympathy for the violinists. I mean, you know, it's amazing. Let's look at the blurby here. A new world virtuoso with old world musicianship. Oh, God. Someone worked hard at that phrase. The complete Decca recordings of Joshua Bell capturing the first decade of the violinist's career on record. Well, it begs the question, why didn't they record his second decade or his third? Why was Decca so quick to record his first decade and then dump him? One wonders. Anyway. He is a fantastic violinist. There's no question about that. And there's some really great stuff in here. What really kind of makes me feel sad about violinists is that there's so little really great violin repertoire that we acknowledge. There's a lot of violin repertoire, I mean, tons of it, and there's some of it is wonderful and people don't know, but that's marketable, that they'll bother to record. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny sliver of stuff. And every violinist does it right away. The handful of concertos or solo pieces, and then what do? They do them all over again. It's such a limited area. I understand why so many violinists want to become conductors. Andrew Mancy, who was really probably the best period violinist out there. He was a wonderful musician, and now he's a conductor because there was something incredibly limiting in what he was doing. And, a violinist, remember this, a violinist cannot operate alone. See, a pianist can. Piano repertoire, is, first of all, it's much better quality for the most part. And second of all, it's an instrument, an orchestra in itself. It's a unified, complete body of musical ensemble values, that is chords and counterpoint and all that stuff. Yes, you can play the Bach sonatas and partitas 100 billion times and some other solo things, but ultimately the violin requires others. And that's extremely limiting when it comes to how to build a career and what kind of repertoire you can do. And so here we have, yes, his first decade or whatever it was when he first burst upon the scene as a very, very gifted young virtuoso. And he was a wonderful violinist. But he's playing stuff that everybody else has been doing for like 1 billion years. And it's very hard to branch out and do interesting or unusual repertoire if you're a violinist, because you need other people who are willing to do it with you. So let's see what he did. We've got these little diskies here, all 14 of them. Yes, 14 of them. Not so much when you think about it, but well, let's see. Okay. Music by Wieniawski, Sibelius, Brahms, Paganini, Bloch, Novacek, those usual people, Faya. It's a little cute little recital disc with Samuel Sanders piano, because you need other people. That's my point. It's okay. I don't care about discs like that. I don't care who does them, generally speaking. And you've got the Bruch and the Mendelssohn, which you have to have, with Mariner and the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. Very good performances, but they've been done 1 billion times by other people. Fauré, Debussy, and Franck violin sonatas. Well, this is very nice because it had the Fauré first sonata in it and the Debussy sonata. These are, they're played a lot, but not to an absurd degree. And you've got Jean-Yves Thibaudet, excellent piano accompanist. It's a beautiful disc, really a lovely disc. And no one ever pays attention to his recording of, say, like the Franck Sonata, because so many others have done it. And that's just the nature of the beast. Then we've got the Chausson Concert. Well, this is lovely. It's first class. You've got the Takash Quartet, and Thibaudet at piano. The Concert, in case you don't know it, is like a full-fledged violin concerto for violin and a string quartet and a piano. So it's a piano quintet with a solo violin, basically. Really an extraordinary work. Beautiful, beautiful work. And it's not as well known as it should be. A masterpiece, really. And the Ravel piano trio with Stephen Isserlis cello and Bell and Thibaudet. Another really wonderful disc that I think deserved a lot more attention than it got because of the rarity of the repertoire. And that's the risk you take. You see, you do a disc like this, nobody cares, nobody talks about it, and then, well, it gets shoved into a box later, and we can say, oh, wasn't it wonderful? But when it came out, people should have been celebrating, and they didn't. What's this? Oh, it's another bunch of orchestra little googies. Chausson, the Rondo Capriccioso, the Meditation from Thais, Zigeunerweisen by Sarasate, the Chausson poem, Ravel's Zigana, and Isai, the Caprice, on a waltz of Saint-Saëns. So that's a nice disc of short little violin and orchestra thingies. Mozart, violin concertos, 3 and 5. Oh, God, I love the third. With the English Chamber Orchestra under Peter Maag. Really a lovely disc. A beautiful disc. Mozart third concerto is gorgeous. I mean, it's a gorgeous work, but he plays it very, very beautifully. I really wish, somebody cared. Then we've got Prokofiev. What's this? Violin sonatas and the 5 melodies for violin and piano with Josh Bell and Olli Mustonen. He did get very interesting and wonderful recital partners. Another fun recording. Mustonen is a wonderful, eccentric, bizarre pianist and a very, very good chamber music partner. And Joshua Bell sort of looks like a deer caught in the headlights in this particular disc, but he doesn't play like a deer caught in the headlights. So that's a happy thing. Messiaen's Quartet for the End of Time, and Shostakovich's Piano Trio No. 2 with Mustonen, Bell, and Isserlis. In the quartet, you've also got Michael Collins, the excellent clarinetist. Well, see, here's an example of another disc which is not usual repertoire, but it's not going to get any play. People aren't going to pay much attention to it. It's really a very interesting coupling, and it's beautiful performances, really beautiful performances. But, it's not really a Josh Bell album. It's a chamber music album. Those are hard to sell. Then we got a Fritz Kreisler disc. Everyone has to do a Fritz Kreisler disc. Bell is a phenomenal technician. He really is. And this is a terrific Kreisler disc. It's got 19 little Kreisler googies, and you can enjoy them if you're a Kreisler person. Kreisler's fun. It's really fun music. These are all going to fall over. The Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto. Well, you've got to do that eventually at some point in your life. And Wieniawski. So we're already at disc 10. And you can see how he really tried very hard not to do just the same old. And more power to him. That makes this box desirable. Because aside from Mendelssohn, Bruch, and Tchaikovsky, you're not getting, you get more of the same old that's coming. But basically, there's a lot of interesting repertoire in here. A lot of stuff that makes him stand out from all of the other violinists doing all of the same things. So the Tchaikovsky Concerto and Wieniawski Concerto No. 2 with the Cleveland Orchestra and Ashkenazi. Again, very fine performances, passionate, intelligent, beautifully played, beautifully recorded, and maybe, people aren't giving them much time of day. Perhaps in the box you'll have a chance to listen to them again and appreciate a really young, hotshot virtuoso, because that's what he was. The Saint-Saëns Concerto No. 3. Yeah, he got to this early in his career. Good. Most violinists wait till they're 150 to do this one, unless they're French. With the Montreal Symphony and Charles Dutoit and the Lalo Symphony Espagnole. Blech. Well, okay, but it's very nicely done. It really is. Piece drives me crazy. Prokofiev, Violin Concertos 1 and 2. And The Love for Three Oranges Suite, again with Montreal and Dutoit. Excellent performances. Absolutely first class. Beautifully done. Beautifully recorded. Brahms and Schumann Violin Concertos. Well, this is interesting. The Schumann is, of course, the interesting thing here. The Brahms Violin Concerto is wonderful because you've got the Cleveland Orchestra and Dochnani accompanying, which is fabulous. Now, they also did the concerto with, who was it? Zietmeyer, I believe. Zietmeyer on Teldec. I think it's over here somewhere. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find it. Ah, here it is. I keep it handy so I can tell you right away. It's the Yes, the Violin Concerto with Thomas Zayatmeyer on Teldec. There's that one too. It's interesting to compare. My preference maybe goes a little bit toward the Zayatmeyer, but only because I know it better. And that's a Brahms box that I just think is amazing. So but this is awfully good. It really is, and beautiful. And then we've got, this is, I think, the best concerto disc he ever made. Barbara Walton and Ernest Bloch and Aaron J. Curtis, Air for Violin. The Bloch Baal Shem and the Walton Violin Concerto. This is just fabulous. And when this originally came out, I might point out, the Barbara, Bloch, and Walton was all that was there. They've added the Curtis, see, from the Curtis album, to make it even nicer, complete full CD, which was really quite generous and smart of them. Somebody was paying attention to the Bell discography, but that, of course, is because this is an Australian Eloquence production, and they always get those things right. Yes, they do. So there you have it. I mean, it's a really interesting first-class box by a wonderful young violinist. I wish that Decca had hung on to him longer and let him keep going with some of his interesting repertoire ideas and his willingness to undertake projects that are not the same old, same old. We might have an even bigger box of more interesting things, but I'll take this. This is a keeper. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.